Welcome to SDH's coverage of everything going on in the NPSL Southeast. Last week of the regular season. We'll go through all the combinations and permutations and get you squared away for everything here when it comes to the last week of the regular season. Before we do that, we've got to go backward and let you know what happened in match week number 9 to get us squared away for match week number 10. 3 matchups as always, and it was first match on the board, Apotheos and 865 Alliance. It was a 1-1 draw at North Cobb Christian. Therefore, with the 1 point on the board, Apotheos is clear of the field. They will host as long as they are active in the Southern Conference and the playoff picture. So they will have matchups, at least one, that if they win, they'll have the 12th and the 15th paired away for them at North Cobb Christian School. Appalachian FC 1-0 on the board over Georgia Revolution at Ted Mackerel, and that helps out the logjam at 2, 3, and 4. We'll sort that out in just a little bit. That gets Appalachian FC into it with Hops and with Georgia Revolution. We'll catch up with both of these head coaches, Dale Parker and Jack Marchant, coming up in just a little bit, getting ready for match week number 10. Then, your match of the week at the University of West Georgia Soccer Complex, Georgia Storm in their home finale, hosting Charlottetown Hops, who have been on a roll after a slow start. Here's your highlights, courtesy of our friends at 11 Sports in the NPSL. Jason Longshore on the call.
Imbert steps to the spot for Charlottetown. Goal, goal, goal for the Hops. Little fortunate there for the visitors, but they will take it. Looking for their 5th straight match without a loss, Charlottetown takes the lead in the 18th minute. And David Imbert with the right foot. Not quite through the middle. Bailey gets to the right side, but Imbert puts it over top of him. Hit it with power. And it's the 3rd goal of the season for Imbert. The Frenchman is now the leader on the season for Charlottetown in goals. Chipped forward, White brings it down under control. Elkins trying to connect with Van Buskirk, knocks it out for a throw. And Martinovich will just keep edging up that left side with his throw-ins. Off the head of White, it's going to be a corner for the Hops. The pace of this one has just ground all the way down. Charlottetown with a 1-0 lead. In no hurry. 59th minute, Imbert will take the corner. In-swinger from the near side. Headed on and in. Goal, goal, goal for Charlottetown, and they go up 2-0. Great delivery from Imbert from the corner. As we take another look at this one. Imbert to the back post. Header at the top of the 6. Clean header. It's Julian Sagnol with the goal. Sagnol's 2nd of the year, and Charlottetown with a 2-goal lead now.
So that sets up the final week of the regular season. And in the Southeast, here's how things stand. We mentioned, once again, how in the barn, Apotheos, no one can touch them. 9 matches, 18 points. They're 4 points clear with 1 to go. Now the fun. 2, 3, and 4 all separated by 2 points. Charlottetown Hops, App FC. Identical records, which means, once again, points per game average, same. You have to go to goal difference because App FC is at +4, Charlottetown is at +2 after the rough start they had to start the season. Georgia Revolution at 4 and 5, they are your number 4, and they're at 12 points. 865 Alliance at 2, 4, and 3, Georgia Storm at 2, 5, and 2, heading into match week number 10, 9 points and 8 points, respectively. So that sets up the last week of the regular season and how things stand. Looking at the matchup, Charlottetown and Apotheos, Friday night football, 7 o'clock at Ortho, Carolina. Charlottetown's in the playoffs. They just don't know where. How will Apotheos show up for this particular matchup, considering everything's in the barn. Saturday, 2 matches, 7 o'clock simultaneous starts. One at Hardin Valley, 865 Alliance hosting Appalachian FC. Revs and Storm in McDonough. Last week of the regular season with those 2 rivals. Let's hear from the 2 coaches. First off, App FC's Dale Parker as he heads to Hardin Valley and on a special day. Big 1-0 win when you needed it last week, eh?
Yeah. I think last week was just all about getting the 3 points. I think the performance is always a bonus if you play well in those games, but the biggest thing was get 3 points, secure that playoff spot, and then whatever happens from now on in, I think the 4 teams that are in, anybody can win it. We just got to make sure that we're in there, and we were very, very pleased with the outcome for sure.
I mean, you look at the Southeast right now. Apotheos obviously is locked in at the 1, but Hops, who started out slowly, they're at 14. You're at 14. You're ahead on goal difference. You're ahead on goals scored. I mean, this could get into – I know you want to make sure that you don't have to go to like the 98th tiebreaker when you have to travel to 865. But, I mean, once again, this conference proved out to be the craziness that we come to expect.
Yeah, I think we all knew that this season. I think a lot of people made us favourites at the beginning just based off of last year. But I think we all knew that this year there was going to be a lot less points between the teams. A lot of teams able to cause upsets or what we might think are upsets from the outside. But there's no hiding the fact that the strength of this league is as strong as any conference in the country. And like I said, any one of the 4 that are in can win this thing. I don't think there's any. You would say Apotheos are probably clear favourites since they're number 1, but anybody who's involved close with this conference knows that everybody's beatable and everybody on their day can beat anybody in this top 4. So we're obviously very, very focused on tomorrow because we want to make sure we host or at least try and host at least one game in the playoffs. So heavily focused on tomorrow, but outside of that, it's anybody's from 1 to 4.
When you look at 865, I mean, they started out slowly, kind of hit a little bit of rhythm, had a coaching change, and now they are where they are. When you look at 865, what's Study Hall been like?
I mean, they've had an up and down season. Obviously, changing the coach and changing some of the players. Some players leaving, some new guys joining. Our anticipation is they're going to be playing without fear tomorrow. They're going to be. I would imagine they're going to come and try and play on the front foot because they don't really have much to play for. Since goal difference is not the number 1 tiebreaker on the head-to-head, they can't make the playoffs. So they're going to be a lot more relaxed than what we are because we're actually playing for placement, and which makes the game more difficult for us. We've got to treat this as serious as every other game that we've played because we know how valuable having a home game is when it comes to the playoffs. So they're going to be tricky. They're going to be a bit more aggressive than perhaps some teams will be at this stage of the season, and we've got to be ready for that.
All right, so the day before the match at 865, it's your birthday, and so happy birthday, obviously. What is the perfect birthday for you these days?
What a great question. Perfect birthday for me would be game day and 3 points. But day before a game, I think no silly injuries in training. That would be a good start, and that didn't happen this morning, so we're good to go there. We've got a nice team meal planned for this evening at a nice restaurant in Boone, which I'm very excited about. I've had a nice morning with my son before we went to training, so everything's been going perfect so far. I think if I could have squeezed in a round of golf this afternoon, that would have been the ultimate. But that was not to be, unfortunately. There's not enough time between training and the meal tonight. But yeah, if we get 3 points tomorrow, we'll combine today and tomorrow, and that'll be the perfect birthday.
Then it is Jack Marchant, the head coach of the Georgia Revolution. They get a home game. They get Georgia Storm, and they get to try to finish their season with 15 points and cause some problems for the rest of the conference. Let's hear what Jack Marchant has to say heading in. All right, you've had some time to digest the 1-0 loss. What's your takeaways from it?
Obviously disappointing to lose, but happy with the performance. It's probably our most complete performance of the season. We felt obviously very, not hard done by is not the word, but we thought we deserved the point. It was a very even game. It was a mistake and a very, very good finish that proved to be the difference, and we just didn't have it in us to break down a very resolute Appalachian side. But a ton of positives to take from it, which is the big thing, which we haven't really had in some of our defeats this year. So a lot of positives going into next weekend.
And of course, it's a street fight. 4 teams have a shot to get in for the 3 spots. Right now, you're at the 4, 12 points, but the destiny, it's all in your hands. You got a home game and you got Storm coming in.
It's funny, I've just spoken with our GM and talked about there's still so much shuffling to be done this weekend, but it's important for us to take care of business first and foremost. If we do that, we're in, and then it's a shootout in the playoffs. So, it's important for us to just take care of what we can take care of, control the controllables. That's what we've just talked about at training there. And then you hope that the cards fall in your favor. But if not, you've done what you've needed to do to get in. And from there, you prepare for Wednesday and you start trying to knock teams out of the playoffs.
So that's your rundown of the Southeast Conference and match week number 10. If you are in Market, if you're at Ortho Carolina, in Hardin Valley, or in the Southern Crescent, catch the 3 final home matches of the regular season before the postseason kicks in and everyone's chasing after a title in the NPSL. If you are in Market, can't make it in person, follow along in your local providers and your social media. Same if you are out of Market and want to keep an eye on what's going on in the other matches in the conference and in the NPSL. So keep an eye on things through social media and through local providers. It's been a great run so far here in the regular season in the NPSL. So for everybody here at SDH, thanks for hanging out with us as we get to match week 10 in the Southeast. Play it safe, everybody. Enjoy the games as we head to the end of the regular season.